What's the human experience? Well, most people's answer would probably be the 5 human senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Since the dawn of cinema, filmmakers and innovators around the world has been trying to capture and recreate the essence of the human experience and tell a story through that. Smell-o-vision, so audiences can smell the aroma of rose or people farting on screen. D-Box blends on-screen motion with the movement of the seats to move moviegoers in all directions, shaking them at times to further immerse them in the world of cinema. And of course, 4DX, the pinnacle of the cinematic experience, combining all sorts of technology, motion seats, special effects, like wind, fog, lightning, bubbles, water, rain, and scents, to stimulate all 5 of your senses. However, none of these additions has been as revolutionary and remained relevant as long, earning itself 4 dedicated categories at the Academy Awards and single-handedly changed how actors acted and performed as the introduction of sound in cinema. Ever since Thomas Edison invented the kinetoscope, a single-viewer film projector, he has been at work to incorporate sound into it. Thus, in 1913, he combined his kinetoscope and phonograph to make the Kinetophone, the first ever film projector with sound paired with it. However, the system was extremely unreliable. One skip frame will completely destroy the illusion of synchronization. Plus, it is still stuck with the problem of being a single viewer device. By then, movie viewing had become a group event, a theatrical experience, and thus the Kinetophone quickly became irrelevant. From that, let's examine what we need to successfully put sound in film. The 2 major problems are synchronization and amplification. Syncing the video reel and the audio reel, which were still physical mediums at the time, and playing it for a large audience. Contrary to popular belief, silent movies were not played in silence. During a screening of a silent movie, there will be musicians playing the movie soundtrack live to create tension and enhance the mood, so audience did not just sit in silence while Chaplin's Metropolis played on the big screen. When absolutely necessary for dialogues, filmmaker would have the actors mouth their words and insert title cards to let the audience read the dialogue. The first major breakthrough was when a small movie studio, just starting up at the time, Warner Brothers, took a gamble and acquired the Vitaphone system and made Don Juan in 1926. However, it did not include synchronized dialogue and still included title cards, but it did include synchronized music performances from the New York Harmonics. However, due to the new projecting system, many theaters weren't ready for it, and the Vitaphone system was not properly displayed, and Don Juan became a commercial failure. However, Warner Brothers did not give up there. They went into debt for $3 million and renovated their theaters. Then came The Jazz Singer in 1927, the first ever movie to include sound. It was originally going to only include singing performances by Al Jolson, but his improvised lines were kept, and the rest is history.
You like that, Mama? I'm glad of it. I'd rather please you than anybody I know of.
The Jazz Singer became a commercial success, and within 2 years, virtually all films were sound films, or talkies, as they used to call it. But with that comes another problem. Every studio was using a different kind of sound system, and they were not intercompatible. In 1928, the 5 major Hollywood studios signed the Big Five agreement, agreeing to standardize the sound system. With that, Hollywood officially added sound to the cinematic experience. Then came a change in the landscape of cinema. Actors at the time who were trained to give exaggerated performance using their entire body to perform weren't able to make a smooth transition to give more subtle performances, a complete 180 compared to when photography was invented. Painters shifted from realism to expressionism. Actors now need realism instead of expressionism. Many actors also quit acting because audiences did not like the sound of their voice. There are certainly some negative effects, but with sound came the golden age of Hollywood. The musical genre was created. Disney started making animated feature films. Gangster and monster movies became more popular as sound effects made them more realistic. Slapstick comedies and physical comedies were faded out and came jokes performed verbally, such as the first ever recording of
That's what she said.
by someone you wouldn't expect, famous horror director Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh my God, I'm terribly frightened.
Why, have you been a bad woman or something?
Well, not just bad, but
But you slept with men.
oh no!
You have not come here. Stand in your place, otherwise it will not come out right, as the girl said to the soldier. That's enough.
Filmmakers can also now move the camera more freely and creatively, as audiences are not limited by just what they see. More complex and creative stories were able to be told. Movies like Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, and Casablanca, all of which set a precedent for what cinema can be and should be like. Here's a clip of The Boy by Charlie Chaplin before sound. And here's a clip of The Great Dictator, also by Charlie Chaplin, with sound. See the difference?
Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world.
Cinema became more than just a funny comedic medium made to entertain people, but where art could be made, where filmmakers could send a strong message to the world, tell their stories, and find their true selves.